I feel very passionately about prescribing GLP-1s and prescribing them in the appropriate way and prescribing them with a full comprehensive approach. And I wanted to explain a little bit more about what that means because semaglutide, GLP-1s, Ozempic, Zepbound, Mounjaro, all of these words are all out in the media, all out in the general population. People think they know what they're doing with these medications. People are talking about side effects and problems with these medications. So let's break it all down and let's really explain to you at least my philosophy in how we utilize these medications safely. One of the most dangerous conditions that us as Americans seem to face exponentially more than people outside of the United States is metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome is obesity, and it is such severe obesity that also leads to chronic inflammation, that leads to heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, and that leads to stroke. All of these top leading illnesses that Americans die from stem typically from obesity and from metabolic syndrome. So our dire need to address this problem has been around for a long time, and it has been a pillar of medicine and health for a long time. Now, until these medications really came out, specifically being prescribed for weight loss alone, the number one recommendation from healthcare providers to the general population in terms of keeping yourself healthy, improving your longevity, reducing chronic illness, has been this terminology of diet and exercise. And because our system is set up in a way that does not allow you to have a 30-minute to 1-hour conversation with a healthcare provider to talk about this, I really love utilizing social media for this opportunity for me to share this with you. Diet and exercise is the key to a healthy life. However, what you must understand about that is when we're talking about diet and exercise, I'm not talking about going on a diet. I'm not talking about doing an exercise plan for a goal of a weight loss and then stopping it when you hit that weight loss or that weight number. I'm talking about diet and exercise is the key to longevity, and it has to be long-term. Meaning we have to formulate your human diet to match the amount of activity that you do so that you have homeostasis in that. And initially, we're going to have to pivot homeostasis or balance to weight loss by reducing your caloric intake and increasing activity. When we talk about that change, though, doing diet and exercise, one of the other big mistakes that happens is a very 0 to 100 approach. People can get very invested and passionate about wanting to change their life and wanting to make a difference in their life, and that is amazing. The problem happens when somebody tries to go from doing 0 activity to walking 3 miles. There's people who do more dramatic change than that, but even that can lead someone to being injured during that activity, feeling so exhausted and winded and sore and in pain from that activity, causing them to not want to return to the activity. Alternatively, when we're looking at weight loss, we have to look at calories. Calories are energy, and so when we absorb energy and we take in calories, if we do not have a place to spend that energy, our body naturally says, hey, you know what? I'm going to hold on to this only because maybe I don't need this energy source now, but maybe I'll need it in the future. We have to remember that our genetics are somewhat formulated from caveman times, and that modern society has moved so fast that our genetics still operate in a way as if we were living at a caveman time. So if your body gets all these calories, but it's not utilizing it, it's not actually using it for activity, it's going to put it away and store it as fat. That is now a long-term, it can be short-term or long-term storage facility for that energy. So what does that mean? That also means that when we lose weight, we have to be able to get to that energy source. Naturally, your body is going to utilize its initial energy source, which are carbohydrates, first. And so when we are consuming food, we're going to utilize those calories until we run out, and then we'll go to the fat storage and we'll start to use that. So this is why we need to be in a calorie deficit in order to actually lose fat and to lose weight, is because if we only increase exercise and we do not have a calorie deficit, you're going to utilize the calories, but you're probably not going to get to the storage of stored fat. So when we combine these two methods, that's where we see fat loss while also encouraging cardiovascular exercise and cardiovascular health, as well as muscle tone and lean body mass. When people go, though, from a large calorie intake and they drop their calorie intake, and their body is used to a certain calorie intake and now it has less, your body is going to feel starvation. It's going to respond as if it's being starved. And that's actually what initiates that process of going after the fat that's stored. Is your body is like, oh my God, I don't have enough energy for this activity that you've put me through. Or maybe it's just your baseline daily activities in which your body requires calories for that as well. And so then that is a very psychological, difficult thing for someone to get through. A lot of times when people start to feel that starvation, they start to feel cravings, they start to then binge, and then they result in an increase in going to, or sometimes past, that calorie requirement that they had originally, losing the calorie deficit and losing the chance to lose that stored fat. Semaglutide comes in, and semaglutide instead drops. So if your calorie intake requirements right now are 3,000 calories, if you were to drop it to 2,500 calories or 2,000 calories, you're going to feel a difference. Cutting it by a third of your intake, you're going to feel a difference. What semaglutide does is it drops that threshold of feeling hungry to feeling full at that 2,500 or 2,000 calories. So now you feel full on a lower calorie intake, despite your body requiring the higher number to operate, allowing for your body to go and access that stored fat, allowing you to lose fat and actually lose weight. Now, people are using these medications, people are getting these medications in all different which ways, and because society still lives in this world where we celebrate weight loss and people really look at it as skinny is good, fat is bad, instead of looking at it from the health perspective, there is a celebration of weight loss, especially rapid weight loss, which is a negative. And I want to emphasize this severely. Rapid weight loss is a negative. When you see someone who has cancer, who has lost a lot of weight quickly because cancers increase your metabolic requirement because it's feeding that tumor or that cancer. So you tend to lose a lot of weight quickly because it doesn't necessarily have to do with the medication. It has to do with the rapid weight loss. 1 to 2 pounds of weight loss per week is a sweet spot where you will lose weight consistently, gradually, prevent those side effects of rapid weight loss, and you have a much higher success rate in being able to keep that weight off because it happens in a slower and more chronic period of time. It also allows time for your skin to adapt to the new size of your body. It reduces the amount of sag and volume, visible volume loss that you can sometimes have with weight loss. And it can also help with simply training your body on how to consume calories in a way that's going to fuel your activity, as opposed to your emotions fueling your intake. My philosophy is very much in balance. It is in homeostasis. It's in meeting in the middle. So when I talk about all of this, and I talk about not eating from emotion and not and fueling your body for activity, I say all of this to also include that this will allow you to still have moments where you get an ice cream just because you want it. But that cannot mean that you get an ice cream just because you want it every single day. You have to have some balance in that. You have to consider macronutrients. You have to consider your caloric intake. You have to consider your protein intake. All of this can be very overwhelming, which is why when you work with me and I prescribe you a GLP-1 medication, we have this one-on-one communication. We are able to talk about all of this education. You can ask me questions about all of this and I can help you walk through it. And my goal is really to shift the way in which you think about food, the way in which you think about activity, your confidence, which is so vitally important, that you feel confident in your skin, in the person that you're presenting out to the world. And more importantly, you feel comfortable. Feeling comfortable in the body in which you're moving around is very important to your mindset and to your psychology. Because when you are feeling uncomfortable because of simply your body habitus, you don't have time to think about other things going on in your life. That will be the thing that you're thinking about all of the time. And that will also produce food noise, feelings of body dysmorphia, feelings of anxiety, depression, not wanting to socialize. And again, I want to emphasize, I am not saying skinny good, fat bad. What I'm saying is that you should have strength to do the activities that you want to do. You should have the energy to participate in your life with your family and your friends and the things that you want to be doing. It all comes back to balance, because food can be a part of that. You can have a relationship with food that is still fun and social, but you have to be able to understand, what am I eating? You should be able to look at a food and know what its general macronutrients are. Is it protein, carbs, fat? And you should have a rough idea of your day's intake and what you've done today, what activity you've done today, what am I fueling? And over a long period of time, you can learn this and change your lifestyle. It can feel overwhelming at first, but my biggest recommendation is day by day, hour by hour. Make a series of good choices, knowing that each small good choice you make adds up to big change, instead of making a big change abruptly. Because big change abruptly, I don't feel has longevity. I don't think that you will have the success in it that you are looking for. And if you are looking to change your life for the better, utilizing these medications to get your life a little bit more back on track, if you feel like your weight has gotten out of control, and again, because I am really so passionate about, it's not about skinny good, fat bad, I want to emphasize it. And a more important point is that when I'm talking about obesity, I'm talking actually about excessive weight on your skeleton. Your body is designed very, very uniquely to keep everything in unison and to keep everything in line. Your muscles should be strong enough to hold your body upright. Your skeleton and your muscles, though, are going to be challenged if they have to carry around 50 extra pounds. I ask you this, if I put on a 50-pound weighted vest on you right now, how would you feel at the end of the day? And now I ask you, if I did the opposite, if I took away 50 pounds from you, think about how you will feel, how you will operate through life, how you will navigate your world when you don't have 50 extra pounds on your body. Fitting into your clothes more comfortably. Again, it doesn't mean that you have to be a rod and a stick. It means you have to be able to fit into your clothing comfortably, not perseverate on the way that your clothes lay on your body. These things can really help your mental health as much as it can help your physical health, your cardiovascular health. People are so passionate about not wanting, big pharma to take over, and people in medicine just want to give pills. Absolutely not. I would say out of an abundance of severity, actually do not want to have to prescribe medications for hypertension or hyperlipidemia or cardiovascular risk. But the only way I get there is to teach you about diet and exercise and teach it to you in a way in which we're talking about your human diet and your physical activity and the relationship between that and how we do that for the long term for longevity. So if you are interested in starting up a GLP-1 or interested in lifestyle coaching and modifications, please fill out this form. You'll see if you're eligible for this medication to just start out. If you're eligible, great, then we can talk about options. If you're not eligible, then you should really talk to your doctor about other options for you. Or reach out to me. I am more than happy to work with you with just lifestyle modifications as well. But I really do believe that there is a place for these GLP-1 medications to even get the ball rolling, to get you feeling more comfortable and confident, and that it is possible. It is possible for you to lose weight. It sometimes means that we have to take a different approach and that we have to adjust our approach, but there is an option for you. So please fill out this form if you're interested. I'd love to talk with you more. I will love to give you more information. If you liked information like this, please let me know so I can create more content that is tailored to you, educating you, and giving you the best chance at a happy life and loving the skin you're in.